The meeting to order. I just really wanted to do that. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Tara, good?
Bars.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Buckley is excused. Coyne.
Here.
Luce.
Here.
And Presnell.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
All right, first up on the agenda, the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion from anyone to approve?
I move. Support.
Moved by Dave Coyne, supported Rick Bars, all in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. So moved. Correspondence and board reports. I don't think there is much that we need to decide on there other than an FYI. Just the board and commission expiration dates, which are all listed right there. We do have a vacant seat, so if you know anybody interested, send them over to Rodney and Tara. Approval of the minutes from the July 11th Special Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Those minutes are in here in the packet. If you haven't had a chance to review them, feel free to do that. If you have and someone has a motion to approve the agenda, or the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the last minutes from the last meeting.
Motion from
Second.
Jeff Brown.
Second.
We'll let you be the second there. Second by Eric Luce. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No one opposed. Going swell. All right, we'll open the floor to public comment. This is restricted to 3 minutes regarding issues that are not on the agenda. We will open public comment at 7:02 p.m.
We don't have anyone online.
Sounds good. We also have no one present, so I think we can go ahead and close public comment at 7:02 p.m. New business. All right, first we'll cover the adoption of the 2024 schedule of Zoning Board of Appeals meetings. Rodney, did you want to introduce that?
Well, thank you. You have in your packet the schedule on page 11 of the packet. This is our annual posting that we do for all of our regular meetings of our various boards and commissions. You'll see on there that for the Zoning Board of Appeals, we're proposing a schedule a little different than in the past. In the past, we've simply scheduled once a month on the first Wednesday. For 2024, there are more conflicts than usual with holidays, such as New Year's Day and 4th of July, but there are also conflicts related to election dates, and especially with the availability of this room around the election dates. Because of the new requirements that are in place for elections. So we're proposing 7 regular meeting dates. Those are listed in the calendar for February, March, May, June, September, and October, and December. And then in addition to that, on our regular meeting night of April, the first Wednesday in April, we're proposing an annual joint meeting. This is something we've done the last couple of years now, is use that date for the annual joint meeting that our Board of Trustees has with all of the boards and commissions. We're invited to meet together and hear from one another, and it's a good opportunity to communicate to the Board of Trustees members about what you've been doing, but also to hear from the other boards. We usually have that meeting either at the Commission on Aging or at Jamison Hall. So with that, a total of 8 meetings, 7 of those will be regular meetings. And then, of course, if there's a need, we would come to you about a potential special meeting. But our aim would be to aim any applications at one of these regular meeting dates. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
And-
I'll make a motion if nobody wants to answer any, have any questions? All good? Make a motion to adopt the schedule of the regular meetings of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the 2024 calendar year to take place at 7 PM on the first Wednesday of the months of February, March, May, June, September, October, and December, along with the annual joint meeting as noted in the schedule, in accordance with requirements of the Open Meetings Act.
Do we have a second? All right, Rick Barr supports. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Next up, we have the approval of the 2023 Zoning Board of Appeals Annual Report. We'll let you talk a little bit about that, Rodney.
Okay. So this document starts on page 12 of your packets, on 12 and 13. This is a report that's required by your bylaws, and it essentially has two parts. One is essentially a summary of the actions you've taken over the last 12 months. So you see it includes last December, because of the timing of the reporting, basically did December to November. And then there's also space there for any additional reporting that you'd like to make to the Planning Commission, that you're reporting to the Planning Commission. And the idea is to let the Planning Commission know about any thoughts you have related to the zoning ordinance in particular. And if you have recommendations for changes or anything like that, you could add those to the report. That's not required. If you feel that there's no need to make any recommendation in that area, you just simply leave that blank. One thing I can tell you, item number 1 on the report from last December, this was the Thrive Community Church. We actually did amend the zoning ordinance in response to the action the ZBA took during that meeting. So our ordinance now actually reflects the items that you identified during that meeting as important. The definitions were changed, and some other updates were made to be consistent actually with your decision. So that has been addressed. But for example, the other variance items were not. No action's been taken on those. So if there's any desire to add any recommendations, you're welcome to. But with that, really, it's simply a report you're giving to the Planning Commission.
Thanks, Rodney. I reviewed it and I thought it looked really thorough, yet also very succinct. Well done.
I will report that Peter Gallané, who is not here this evening, put this report together, so I will make sure to let him know you said that.
Very well. Does anybody have any questions, anything they want to discuss from the annual report?
Make a motion. Make a motion to adopt the annual report to the Planning Commission of the ZBA meetings held from December 2022 through November 2023, along with any recommendations regarding proposed changes to the zoning ordinance as required by the ZBA rules of procedure.
Support.
Support from Dave Coyne. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No one opposed. All in agreement. Look at that. So moved. Never gets old. Up next, some discussion on training. I think this is just more meant to be kind of an open conversation around some training opportunities. Rodney included some good information on training opportunities, if I remember correctly when I was reading through this. That are somewhere in my packet. Did it get left at home?
Page 14.
There it is. There we go. So we are asked as a board to do at least kind of one training per year. I think we get access to an online resource. That's what I used last year.
You do. The township pays for all of you to have access to the Michigan Townships Association online training center, online learning center. And there is that one set of zoning board of appeals modules there that we ask everybody to participate in this year.
That's right, that was this year, yes.
Very early this year. But in addition to that, as we note in our memo, there's some other items there that are on the planning and zoning topics that you're certainly welcome to take a look at too. I noted three of them there: the breaking the zoning code, the intro to planning and zoning, and now you know the role of the zoning administrator. As three that might be particularly helpful, just for information, just so you get some background on that side of things. You could also rewatch the zoning board of appeals ones as well, if you want. And then in addition to that, there are some other opportunities. In the packet, I shared the MSU Extension Zoning Board of Appeals online certificate course. That if there's interest, we'll help you sign up for that. You just let us know, and we'll get you signed up. So that's an option. And then in addition to that, I just shared for your interest, for information, a couple of articles. These are kind of classics, you might say. They're older articles. And as I noted in the memo, they were aimed at planning commissions because they're from an online journal called the Planning Commissioners Journal. But the information there applies the same to the Zoning Board of Appeals. It's good articles to read. The ex parte contacts article, I think, is always a good reminder. It is a challenge it is a challenge to deal with ex parte communication, which is basically folks that want to talk to you about things that are on your agenda outside of the meeting. That's really all that is. As the article talks about, it's one-sided communication because the other side in any dispute doesn't have the chance to hear what's being said and perhaps provide some alternative information. So I just encourage you to read these if you haven't already, and keep them in mind. As I said, the ex parte communication is always a challenge for all of our boards and commission members, and it really is best to simply say, "I can't talk to you about this now. Come to the public meeting." If you focus on that everything related to that agenda item is handled in this room, where all parties that are interested can see and hear and communicate. That's the best approach. As the article notes, if that's simply impossible, and sometimes it is, sometimes you get cornered, and there's just no way around politely getting away from them before you have to have some conversation or at least hear something. As the article notes, it's good to simply report on that when the item starts. To say, I want to make you aware, had this conversation. This is what they told me. I'm letting you know so that it's on the record, and obviously we can hear from the people here. That essentially gets rid of that one-sided element to it. Everybody then hears it, and the other side that is here also has the opportunity to hear and communicate back. The other article, the mistakes about public hearings, to some extent it's silly. I always try to give a little bit of silly. Such as item number 2, I think. No, item number 3, making the mistake of dancing naked. But there are good items here. Making the mistake of making up your mind beforehand is certainly important to avoid. It's always best, no matter how this case looks, no matter what you've seen ahead of time, to do your best to come with an open mind and ready to hear the other side, to hear both sides, and to make your judgment on that. Anyway, so that's the gist of it. I think in my memo I noted this little business about adult only. The picture there, of course, you can't click on that as the article is talking about. So I gave you the link in the memo if you want to go see it. It's definitely silly. It's not adult. It's just silly. Anyway, I'm happy to answer any questions. If you'd like to talk further about it, or if you have any questions about the various training opportunities that we have, I certainly encourage you Over the next, say, the next couple of months, we won't have a meeting immediately in the new year. But certainly, the next couple of months or few months to look at these training opportunities and take advantage of them. And as I said, if you'd like to sign up for the MSU Extension Certificate, we're happy to help you with that.
Yeah, I think it's always helpful. I know for me, when I started on the board, it seems like the requests were a little bit more straightforward. We were focused primarily on variance requests. With the adoption of the new zoning ordinance, we've gotten much fewer of those, but the requests have in turn become a little more complex when we do get them. So I know that's been something for me to get a little bit more educated on the ins and outs myself. So I think I appreciate the information, and I'll dive in and make sure I get up to speed. Anybody have any questions?
Oh, I appreciate it, Rodney, putting the pack together. That's good information. Definitely, thank you.
You're welcome.
Leads us in the right direction on some of this training too.
It does.
Alrighty. Do I need to motion that, or can we just move on?
You can, if you're happy with it, we can just
I'm
move on.
happy.
Yep.
Other business. Does anybody have any other business? My only other business, I am committed to staying on the Zoning Board of Appeals, but I do not plan next year to remain the chair. So we can be thinking about who that could be. And I'm happy to support in whatever additional roles, but I just think that was perhaps a little jump in the gun for me to become the chair. So I'm hoping next year when we do those votes to not be in this seat. But I will still be in a seat, so.
That's good news.
would,
That you'll be in a seat, you're not leaving.
I would be an alternate, but I'll go on as a full-time, and then you can find an alternate
Okay.
if you want to do that.
I don't know, there's probably a little programmatic way to do that but I'll,
Whatever you want to do, I would go to.
yeah.
So Dave, if you want, you just need to fill out another one of those applications that you filled out originally for this, and you can just mark Zoning Board of Appeals and just mark it as regular member, or change to regular member.
Talk to Tara.
Yep.
If we get that in tonight, I can add it to the board packet for next week even.
Please do.
Because we do have the vacant spot, so I can get that in our packet next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
I don't know if I'll try to be here as much as I can, but I've been traveling a little bit, so almost as much as Rick, but.
Y'all be living that good life. I've been here.
Thank you, Dave. We appreciate that.
Any other business?
On my side, I did just come as an alternate, and I'm trustee here for Union Township, so we've been looking for my replacement, so I can get back to, but I just wanted to make sure the board was always full too, because we couldn't get anybody. So if you do have any friends, or if you know anybody that can fill out an application and want to be on, we have several spots open on a few different boards, but definitely this one we could use another
Sounds
person.
good.
So if you know anybody, that'd be great, and then you can kick me off too. That'd be all right.
Oh, come on, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no other business, we can move on to extended public comment, restricted to 5 minutes regarding any issue. We will open extended public comment at 7:19.
We still have no one in the waiting room.
And no one in this actual room, so we will close extended public comment at 7:19. All right, any final board comments? I got nothing. I appreciate you all. That's all I got.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Meeting adjourned.